I'd like to believe, and I'm a very optimistic person, but I'm also realistic, but Yoshi P cracking down on these third-party systems, that's especially ACT or something. I hope that he has plans, or the dev team has plans to add like an in-game DPS meter or a way to turn on like or something like that, dude. When the treadmill stops, players fall off. There also needs something to run after it. Exactly. That's true. That's true. Okay, so apparently Final Fantasy 14 is on fucking fire, guys. So people have basically told me, because work's been fucking crazy and hectic, so let's just use this time to catch up what's been happening in Final Fantasy 14 kind of side and why the community is on fire. If you guys are in chat and stuff, want to just put in your thoughts about the third party. As far as I know, they've been cracking down third-party softwares like add-ons and all that stuff, because apparently recently the new ultimate, the Dragon Soul ultimate, just came out. People were using obviously ACT and all that stuff, and things to help to clear it and stuff. Obviously not things that help too much, but just to clear it. And apparently Yoshi P has held off of banning these people until it was actually cleared. I forget who did the world first. You guys know who did the world first? Oh, I'll find it. Oh my god, and then there's cute things like this in the Discord, of course. You guys should just join our Discord. Just anybody who's not in Discord, just hang out, dude. This cute stuff. Look at this. They're in a bag, bruh. What's happening on Twitter? What are the link tweets? So it seems like everyone's already memeing the fuck out of this. Like this mods is made it like this. So Zepla has made a video on this or something like that, right? There's an Asmongold interview. What interview with Asmongold? Hold on, let's do reactionception, dude. So Zepla is pretty big in the community here, so let's see what she says. Already the title already says that she agrees with the Final Fantasy 14 dev plugin thing with the Asmongold interview. I think this is like a big, I've never heard of this guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this dude who made these plugins or whatever. Like, I don't know if he's a part of G-Shade or he's a part of ACT, things in that regard. But apparently this interview happened 2 days ago. Like, I think it was like my Thursday or my Friday or something. I think it was like my Wednesday. But apparently this interview happened on the Asmongold channel about like the ginormous ban waves that's been happening with Final Fantasy 14. So let's see what her thoughts are.
We don't want to ruin the fun for anyone. We just want to give quality of life and vanity.
One thing is that, yeah, you might have heard Asmon ask about add-ons that call out mechanics immediately to you. Now, I do think that that is a bit of an advantage because it is infallible. You know, it's not subject to human error like a normal raid leader would have. And it's instant, so
yeah, I think Cactbot is going to be the part of it. Like it is giving you a significant advantage, right?
Called out, so
I don't know.
I really do feel like that is a gameplay advantage.
I mean, I kind of agree with Zepla here, right? Like, I think everyone in chat, even though it's like, I think Zion said, you said Catbot is a gray area, but also like, I think it's taken away the fact that like the consistency of, because the skill of performing a Savage or an ulti, right, is actually being consistent with the mechanics that come through, memorizing, or just like as the flow of the fight goes on, like you're consistent with the mechanics you call out and perform. But if you use a system like this, it kind of takes that skill of consistency out of the equation and you just rely on that. And I think what Yoshi P and everybody with the third-party programs and stuff, I think he's trying to avoid the eventuality that he sees WoW and he looks at other MMOs for ideas, innovations, all that stuff, and we know how good he is at that and keeping up with other MMORPGs and all that stuff and what they're doing. I think he sees, and a lot of people do see, World of Warcraft right now being in that show that if you do not have these third-party plugins and all that stuff that's been accepted by the entirety of the community, you're not playing the game right, or you're not performing at the highest level and people get mad at you or rage at you because it's been accepted for so long. Maybe now he's just deciding to crack down on it and stuff. You know, in a classic community fashion way, in Twitter, subreddits, and YouTube, people are freaking out over it. Like the general population and like the hardcore peoples. I'm sure none of the content creators have freaked out and have raged over it, but I think a lot of people are saying like they're overreacting. And that's just the classic thing with it, you know? Interesting, because on the other hand, it's been so accepted over the years that's become part of the culture. That is the part of the way, yeah. Because in Warcraft and stuff, like it's just part of it. Like when you download World of Warcraft, you download these plugins or these third-party enhancers and stuff, right? But I think Yoshida, I think it's just like I don't know if it's a classic Japanese cultural thing with it and everything, but like this TOS thing, I don't know if you guys have played other Asian MMOs or other games and stuff, but their TOSs are quite like strict as well and everything. Like they're really strict on detection and everything else too. So I don't know. It's definitely a gray area. I think as people are so divided over this, but I think obviously everyone already knows that everyone in the community is fucking overreacting anyways and attacking the devs. I think people there's a small percentage of people that have gotten a lot of traction on Twitters and subreddits and stuff about just attacking the devs for this. But I think it's like a gray area as well. I don't know. It's hard to say what's right and wrong.
Be extremely alert and be aware of everything that
I guess she's saying that like because how hard the content is, like you need to be personally into it. You have a personal responsibility for everything. With plugins or without plugins, it doesn't matter here. I think that's what she's saying.
20-minute fight OT was stillness. Was the stillness call out at the very end. But even
have you guys seen? I haven't seen her clear T actually.
That's something
I know she progged it for a while, but I kind of want to watch her clear T because that'd be cool to see like high end way. That'd be cool.
So
I need to see the prog for ultimates too. If you add a training area to the game where in-game DPS meters to clear your craft and out rotations and compositions, DPS meters used as long as you don't hit enrage. That's true, I guess. But I think it's like the high-end. I think most of the arguments people are having from the high-end places, like the top 0.4% or something on FF logs or parsing or whatever, people are saying that like if you're not able to use these third-party programs and obviously there's no in-game built-in DPS meter or anything, then where's like the strive to be better, right? And I think it's people are trying to say there's no replay value, but I think they're also arguing that the fact there is a DPS meter, ACT, and FF logs and parsing and doing the best that you can absolutely be, all that stuff, leaderboards, it's all from third-party programs or it's a third-party community-based thing. And that's the reason that those high-end 0.1% of players or 5% or whatever the fuck, they're striving to be better in that, right? Yeah, comes from a parsing pissing contest. That is true. That is true. Like top 100 or whatever, right? So I think Final Fantasy 14, like the reason why I think everyone was saying Yoshi is cracking down on the third-party programs and kind of setting the culture going forward for Final Fantasy 14 is because of the fact that it's gaining so much popularity and it's going to be going into the cycle of establishing a sort of culture or establishing a sort of way to tackle the hardest content or progression, shit like that. I think it's already there, but it's heading further into that direction kind of thing with the influx of new players, WoW refugees, shit like that. I'm pretty sure, that's why he's decided, you know what, this is the time where we're cracking down. People gotta get used to this type of shit, you know? Be like that, bruh. I have no idea. Obviously, I don't have a problem with it, but I think there obviously would be outrage and a huge amount of disconnection and cognitive dissonance when people have been using these tools forever and ever, ACT, all that stuff, and comps and everything, hitting enrage, blah, 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 for so long, and then all of a sudden they're getting banned for it. So obviously there's gonna be people that are baby raging and reeing all over the place. I feel like it's not needed. I think you just kind of adjust and be like, all right, fine, that's fine. But I mean, it's easy for me to say that because I haven't been progging for X amount of hours with ultis and stuff. That yeah, it's almost like they've created that, you know, the ranking system with the parsing and FF logs and everything like that. Like, yeah, you get the title, but then yeah, I get the weapons for all your characters, but then what do you do after that? You love it for forever kind of thing. Time trial, for example, logging the fastest clear with in-game leaderboard. Yeah, exactly. This wouldn't be a problem, right? This would not be a problem if this is all implemented inside of the game. Does that make sense? Like, the reason why it's there is because the people that are in that 0.1% want to have that, you know, I have the fastest clear on T. I cleared the fastest on T using Gunbreaker. I have the fastest time also on Dancer or something like that, or on ranged physical DPS, shit like that. Being able to do that, like, is really fucking cool. But something as small as a leaderboard or something as small as ranking systems and something like, look how far League of Legends has gone because of the fact that they have those ranks or elos or whatever. Obviously it's going to be different now. They just recently added a PvP rank system inside of Final Fantasy 14, but I think that's the reason why all of these, like these little crumbs or this little donut that you're chasing after, or carrot on the stick, people want that. But yeah, it's hard. It's a hard call, but that's the reason why all these third-party things and high-end players exist. I'd like to believe, and I'm a very optimistic person, but I'm also realistic, but Yoshi P cracking down on these third-party systems, especially ACT or something. I hope that he has plans, or the dev team has plans to add like an in-game DPS meter or a way to turn on, like, or something like that, dude. When the treadmill stops, players fall off. They also need something to run after it. Exactly. That's true. Without these kind of like devices or kind of things to use, there's literally no reason just to clear Savage once a week gets your items, all that stuff, and then fuck off and everything. People love this game so much they want to play it all the time and they grind that like kind of thing, how to get better at it, blah 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 blah. But you know, it's kind of contradictory because when Yoshi P had said that he doesn't mind when people fuck off and play another game and take a break and all that stuff, that he'd rather just, you know, come back when there's something else to do or whatever, play other games, everything like that. The fact that he did say that, I don't think he's given kind of a thought for it, you know?
A way to help inspire and give devs ideas about what to actually add to the game. And you can see by
there, dude. That apparently that's what she said. That's the motor guy said that to give devs ideas and all that stuff. I like that. That's a good idea. Fuck yeah, I like that idea. That makes sense. The reason why they mod and everything, you know.
Check mark to items that you've already collected to the game. That was a plugin feature before that people had
really
put in their game from using an add-on. And
really,
then, you know,
interesting.
they suddenly decided to put it in the game, and then right after that, like immediately after that, we hear this Lodestem post in which they admit that they are looking at the functionality that add-ons provide and looking to add a lot of those features to the base game in the default UI. So we, like they've admitted, yeah, we are looking at the mods, we are looking at what people want. And so the fact that they have admitted that, I think that did leave a really bad taste in the mouth of certain people who like.
Didn't I just say that? I forgot I had something about that. They need to they're banning it. They need to come up with kind of a way they implement it inside the game itself, right?
Plugin, awesome. I'm more thinking like, why the fuck isn't this in the game already?
So yeah, I remember.
Fair enough. Fair enough.